Hello, this is Sean Copeland, Chairman and CEO of Regent Bank, and today we're continuing Regent Elevate with our discussion around the business life cycle. Now, the reason we're talking about the business life cycle is because every business goes through the same cycle that humans go through. So they basically all start out as in courtship, move into infancy. Today we're going to talk about go-go, and then we'll talk about further stages over the next couple of weeks. So today what we want to visit about is the business, the courtship. The idea has started. In infancy, the business was born, and now we are basically like a business toddler where we are in what is known as the go-go years. These are the wild years. Just like if you've ever had a 2 to 4 year old, they are wild. They are all over the place. You cannot control them. That's kind of how this business is. It's super fun, but super chaotic. So let's talk a little bit about what a go-go business looks like. The business is over the hump, okay? It's going to live. It made it through infancy. We're confident. We have a growing customer base, strong sales, good cash flow, and so we're going to make it. The question is only how big will the business become, not whether it will survive. The company is hot. The marketplace and investors are buzzing. People want to be involved with this type of a business. The drive is now on sales, and more sales. We want to grab market share. That's what you want to do in go-go. Now, this success will sometimes breed arrogance, so you've got to be careful, and we're going to talk about that more in just a moment. And we're kind of like we are in the terrible twos. I mean, if you think about it, there's no fear. Everything looks interesting, and we want to eat everything that we touch. I mean, anything that's on the ground. I remember our kids would pick up random Cheerios that were there for years, we think, and eat them. And that's kind of how a go-go business is. Everything looks interesting to you. You want to do it all. Now, normal problems that you have as a go-go business are, one, you're spread too thin. You're pursuing many fronts at the same time, and it's really, really hard to keep up. That's very normal. Number two, you're disorganized. Your priorities are changing constantly, and nothing is real set in stone and real organized. Number three, people are thrown into jobs with very little training, and they just kind of have to figure it out, and they may not be qualified for those jobs. Number four, management and employees can be frustrated. They want certainty. They want a normalcy, and this business doesn't have that. This business is all over the map. Things are changing. It's a love-hate relationship. On one hand, it's very, very exciting, but on the other hand, it's very frustrating because things are just kind of wild. You have weak processes, back office. You have weak systems. You have weak controls. You have technology infrastructure that is often kind of a house of cards. Everything's just barely working. You don't typically have mainframes. Everybody's on their own computer. Now the cloud really helps this type of business a lot, but the infrastructure is not usually real strong. Company continues to grow and grow and grow, and normally until a major meltdown occurs, and then all of a sudden you've got to rethink your systems and the way that you do business. The founder can go from hero to goat overnight. It's so exciting because things are growing, but then when you hit that wall, it's not very much fun at all. And a lot of times founders do not survive the go-go stage. A professional manager will often need to come in to get them to the next level. And then finally, oftentimes a disaster will convince the founder, now think Peter Pan here when I'm talking to you, that he or she either has to grow up and embrace the professional role, or they have to move out. Now, abnormal problems that you really want to avoid in this stage, and many businesses, if you're watching this video, there's a very good chance that your business is in this stage. Abnormal problems are, number one, some major crisis that you weren't prepared for kills or injures the company severely. Number two, the founder is unable or unwilling to grow up. And this is difficult because, like myself, many founders thrive on production and sales and growth and new stuff. And so at some point in time, to get through go-go, you have to build these systems and administrative piece that we have been talking about. Now, if you look at the makeup of a go-go company, they're going to be very high in production, wowing the customer, bringing in deals. They're going to be very high in entrepreneurship. We are coming up with new ideas, new ways, but they're still going to be very low in administration, and they're going to be very low in integration. So systems are going to be minimal, and culture and kind of the why behind the business is still going to be lacking. But again, understand if you are in this go-go phase, that is very, very normal. Don't let people talk you into prematurely aging before you're ready to go on to the next segment, which we'll talk about next time, which is adolescence. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed this business life cycle talk, and we'll continue it next week.